biggest pet peeve I had was any of you coming in and saying to me, we're the only company doing such and such, when the person that I just left at the elevator to come get you to come into my office was doing exactly the same thing you were doing, maybe a little bit differently. So I really advise companies to know their competition, know who is out there, and once you know who your competition is, damn them with praise. Don't say they suck, we're better. Say they're wonderful, but here's why we're even more wonderful. When you start knocking the, well, I know you probably met so-and-so, but they suck. No, they're good, but here's why we're better. And the most important thing, at least for the music industry, and I agree with Dan on film and television, it's not so much how cool your technology is, but how is it going to help them grow their business? How is it going to help them find the audience that they're struggling to find that they've lost in the analog world? How are you going to get people to buy more DVDs or do pay-per-view or whatever the model that they're trying to achieve is? How can you help them increase traffic, increase revenue, as opposed to this would be a really cool technology to put on your website because people will really like it. So it's what do you bring to them, not what, not how cool you are. And I mean, most of the time people would come and say, this is, or we're going to be a big destination. In a lot of cases, you might just be a feature on their site. They may never come to your site. It's how do you integrate into their site as opposed to sending traffic somewhere else. So how do you integrate your technology into their platform so that you're part of the solution, not some destination that somebody has to go off to and do something else and come back? Because whether traffic really means anything a lot, that's a metric that people keep in their heads, and they don't want to give eyeballs away to other locations.
Errol, just in terms of, you've seen the arc of these discussions change over time. Your observations?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us who are building companies from Israel and elsewhere have a little bit of a different task than we had a few years ago. The studios or the content providers, I think most of them don't necessarily realize the benefit of immediately working with a new licensing deal or with small startups. I think that there's quite a hurdle. We have two companies that have, I don't know, between them about 6 agreements with the major studios, and after a while we're finding how we need to change that, but at least we got into the door, we have some agreements, and that we're engaging. And I think that most of the studios still are very suspicious of the web way of making money, and are still not 100% clear about how the money is made in different kind of situations. But I think that as far as we're concerned in terms of building companies, these are the kind of people that we need to engage with. And a lot of you here, your last startup or the startup before that, we were engaging with primarily technology people only. And I think that right now, the way to most VCs have issues and most startups have issues. If you don't have passion or focus in the beginning of the process, and if you think you're going to have a quick exit, just go do something else. Right now, the idea of a quick exit, I mean, sometimes it happens, is not so relevant. If you are passionate, it makes sense, but find a good partner. And if you are dealing with either web or media players, engage with, get a little bit out of your engineering comfort zone. This industry is too long been built by engineers talking to engineers, and trying to just build, the next. And a lot of the creative people are bringing value in a way that's very, very different. This city has people that really understand some of the aspects that we in Israel seldom do, and I think that partnering with, but not all of them have a lot of experience in terms of building companies from scratch, or in terms of translating their excellence into a proposition which is sort of an equity investment. I think that's where our opportunity is. And so if we're having startups that, let's populate them with people on both sides, and then let's engage with the players here, I think, in the way that this trip is doing, in a way that would, that change the way we build the company and the way we put our proposition forward.
Well, I thought